Shalom. This is an emergency broadcast alert, giving all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai Bahashim Rekakadash, in whom we are in great debt. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone who rule well, continue doing so, standing firm in the eyes of terror, who I learned this truth from. To the elders, the bishops, Akim and Aquab, salutations and blessings to the house of David. We are the hopeful elect. This is your brother Quasar with another video, and I had a weird dream. It was a dream with so many things in it. I'm not even gonna start to even talk about it, but I am going to say this: the last part of the dream, I heard a voice say, "Gross darkness, the people." And it kept repeating and repeating. And when I woke up, I was repeating the word "gross darkness, the people." And I'm like, oh, man. Well, I guess this is going to be today's video, because it is what it is, you know. The Lord commands and we obey. Period. Anyways, really quick, since my brothers are all going to ChatGPT, I decided I'll go to ChatGPT too and give it a try and ask ChatGPT, what does it mean to say gross darkness to people? The phrase gross darkness to people comes from the Bible, specifically Isaiah 60 verse 2, King James Version. For behold, the darkness shall cover the earth, and gross darkness the people. What it means. Darkness refers to widespread moral, spiritual, or societal confusion, which had already begun. Gross darkness means deep, thick, or oppressive darkness, which that also has begun, but people don't see it because they want to live the way they've always lived for the past 80 years. I'm gonna go that far because that's pretty much the so-called good years, or should I say the years where Jake wasn't walking around, and because that's where it began, where Jake wasn't 80 years ago they still had it, but it began not to. And when I meant not to, Jake wasn't in chains as much. Jake was actually left to do or walk on his own until today. The laws change and whatnot, and so now Jake wants to be, he wants to keep doing what he's doing, thinking that he's free. Meanwhile, gross darkness to people. What does it mean? Darkness refers to widespread moral, spiritual, or societal confusion, and people are confused as hell. They have no morals, and spiritual, their spirit is all over the place. Gross darkness means deep, thick, or oppressive darkness, not just absence of light, but in intense condition. And look around you, man. You want to call upon Jesus Christ. This was the name that they gave you in English, and when you're told the name is not in English, it's in Hebrew, that you might want to research it. Oh no, Jesus is in my heart, yada 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 yada. Well, you too are in deep darkness. You too are going to suffer this immoral. In plain language, it means that people are living in profound spiritual ignorance or moral blindness, unable to see truth clearly. This isn't about literal light, but about a condition of the human heart and society. And that brings me to a scripture that it says we fight spiritual, let me look for it real quick. Salakia. Ephesians 6 verse 12. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Taking away the means of you sustaining yourself, taking away, put it that way, I'm just going to leave it like that, taking away the means of you sustaining yourself, because that includes work, your housing, water, clothing, etc., etc., because you're in the way of their new plans. In plain language, okay, I read that. What it used in Isaiah, the phrase contrasts human darkness with the Most High, the Most High's light. Darkness, confusion, sin, separation from the Lord, or Yahweh Shah. And yeah, darkness brings a lot of confusion, because darkness, this is what so-called white man Esau Edom is bringing. So yeah, he's creating a lot of confusion. You've already been sinned, because only the Israelites can sin, but the separation from God, period. He is separated from, so-called white man is separated from God, and he wants you to be separated from him likewise. Light, truth, guidance, hope, the Most High's presence. And how you can be in the Most High's presence? By praying and listening to the Hopeful Elect, GMS, because we give you 100% truth. The brothers of GMS, starting with Apostle Tahar, the head of apostles, Gabar and Lion Rock, they have brought us understanding. No, that was because the Lord set it up that way. Yahweh Shai set it up that way. Nevertheless, they're the ones who have. Anyways, if you're not listening by now, gross darkness is about to engulf you. The verse goes on to say that the Most High's light will rise despite this darkness, emphasizing hope and restoration. In other words, Yahweh Shai is going to come regardless if you believe it or not. This is about to change regardless if you believe it or not. It don't matter if you believe or not. Well, it doesn't matter if you don't believe it. It's going to happen. It's happening. This change is happening. But the Lord is also at the same time using this demon, so-called white man, Esau Edom, that he can correct his people, that set it in order. He's setting it in order. So it says, if I wanted to see the origin, which is, I did go into that, but before I go into that, I want to go and show you a few clips.
Surveillance, police, military crackdowns, and that's exactly what's happened with the ICE and they're not working with local law enforcement, because that's state. You know, that's the local law enforcement. Local state law enforcement is set up by the states. So this is the federal government coming in on the states. Economic pressure, authoritarian laws. In short, the beast system tightening its grip. And it's definitely tightening its grip. But the Latin tribes are feeling it. If you look like a Latin, one of the so-called Latin tribes, you look like a Gabite or Issacharite or Venezuelan or Dominican or whatever, they're gonna question you, and you got to prove that you got to prove that you were born here. They might not believe you, and they're gonna put you in detention centers. And I'm gonna show you the video that the young elder Micah Allah put up, and you'll see it. He puts up a lot of videos of different things. You know, you check out TikTok enough and YouTube, you get all kind of information. So anyway, let's go over here. Let's come over here. Where is it? Okay, so we're right here. Let's listen to this. Fair use, fair use, fair use.
Before you listen for this video, remember the coffins, the guillotines, the facilities that they were building. All right, these facilities that they're going to mention are the transfer facilities. They might just grab you and take you here, but eventually they're going to take you elsewhere. Remember the coffins and the guillotines.
Okay, let's go. This is Rose White. It was the M Live investigative reporter, the Washington Post. Okay, she worked for the Washington Post reporter that the federal government. Okay, let me just go ahead and play it. Fair use, fair use, fair use. Here we go. Detention camps coming. Hashtag martial law. Hashtag Jacob's trouble.
So like, yeah, I have to bring it. I have to look for it. Okay, I looked a lot. I couldn't find those the videos of those coffins, but I'm pretty sure that you know what I'm talking about.
Hashtag Revelation 17-16 is trending. So let's go. This is short.
Post reported that the federal government could renovate warehouses to hold more than 80,000 detainees throughout the country. This would more than double the current capacity. The draft solicitation reviewed by the newspaper showed plans to purchase 7 large-scale warehouses and 16 smaller ones. The large ones could hold between 5,000 and 10,000 beds, making them the biggest detention centers in the country. A smaller one was listed in Highland Park.
They're not planning on detaining the Proud Boys or the KKK or the neo-Nazi party. They're hands off on them. They're going after Jake. They're not even messing with the Arabs. I thought the Arabs. What about these terrorist Arab cells that's all over the country? They're not going after them. They just if you notice, he's going after Jake.
Park, a city that's just north of Detroit, and it could hold between 500 and 1,500 immigrants. The Washington Post said these plans are not final, though, and they could change. Michigan politicians also haven't been able to confirm the report. State Senator Stephanie Chang, a Democrat from Detroit, said that she does not have any evidence of concrete plans for an ICE detention center in Highland Park, but she's still looking into it. Chang also said one potential site is not zoned for an ICE facility. There are currently 5 detention centers in Michigan, including 4 local jails that have ICE contracts, and there's a privately owned facility.
5 local jails that have ICE contracts, meaning we're going to pay you to house these people. So this is a money thing. They're going to get that money from the federal government. That the real reason why, I believe, I'll say it that way, I believe, that he's cutting everything because he's taking all that money and he's going to put it into imprisoning these Israelites. See, the threat is a spiritual threat from on high. It's a fulfillment of the prophecies. It's Israel rising up. It's Ezekiel 37. I didn't mention Ezekiel 37. That's a powerful scripture right there. A powerful chapter right there. Ezekiel chapter 37, Ezekiel 38, Ezekiel 39. Powerful.
Facility that opened in northern Michigan last summer with 1,800 beds. It's currently nearing capacity with more than 1,300 immigrants. The vast majority of those don't have criminal.
All they got to do, though, is say, okay, you're from Mexico, we're shipping you back to Mexico. You're from Venezuela, we're shipping you back to Venezuela. They're taking Venezuelans and taking them to San Salvador in this Supermax prison. So why are they keeping them there? If they're a problem, they got to get out the country. Why are you going to put them in? Because you're going to put them in slavery. That's cheap labor.
You should look up this Insurrection Act. If you don't know what it is, you really should look that up. Because, you know what? Wait.
Constitution suspended. Government to run things usually during a huge emergency like a war. So Nero is declaring war against these protesters. Natural disasters or major unrest. It's not major unrest, but they can show certain pictures. You see what they did? He busted this. He shot a ICE agent. They shot an ICE agent in the face, so we got to get him. One of ours, all of yours. That's an old Nazi saying. You kill one Nazi officer, we're going to kill a whole village. Unrest. Suspending normal laws. What's normal laws? Your ordinances, your city ordinances, your constitution, and civil rights, which is your constitution. Like free speech or movement. So if you say something negative, they don't like what you said, they're gonna lock you up or kill you. To restore order, it's a temporary system where military commanders, enforcement, ICE, federalizing the guard, state guards, laws and justice, often involving curfews. You got to be in the house by 8 o'clock. If you're walking the street after 8 o'clock, we're gonna lock you up. No ifs, ands, or buts.
I believe they still have something like that going on in Pennsylvania. You can is it Pennsylvania? Look, I know it was mentioned to me when I was younger, but I didn't know why, and that's why I said it. But I really didn't know that it was because it says you can't walk the Philadelphia Badlands, Kensington, Fair Hills area after 8 p.m. due to significant public safety concerns, primarily stemming from the intense open-air drug market, high crime rates, and the presence of dangerous individuals exacerbated by drug. I don't know. Anyways, why isn't he attacking that? Wasn't there a drug war on drugs, and they let this go on? They let this go on.
And military, didn't they have that with the Sea Ragamuffin? I was still out there. It was 8 o'clock. I was still out there because I was doing my walk, and I would see cops. I wave to the cop. They wave back to me. They never fuck with me. I would be out there at 9, 10 o'clock at night. Nobody out there. Everybody's, oh my goodness.
Los Angeles, Memphis, Baltimore, etc., for the purpose to leading to the path of declaring martial law. The Insurrection Act basically allows him to bypass any judge's decision that says he's exaggerating. He cannot put troops on the street. Judges are blocking him all over the country. You've probably seen this. Well, he can invoke the Insurrection Act, which allows him to bypass all of these judges' decisions.
And this is what he's doing with ICE. He's getting ready to do that with ICE. As for me and mine, it says Philippians 1 verse 20, according to my earnest expectations and my hope that in nothing I shall be ashamed, but that with all boldness as always, so now also Yahushua shall be magnified in my body, whether it be by life or by death. And it's coming. That ultimate test is coming. Regardless if they don't arrest you, or regardless if you don't end up in jail, regardless of any of those things you don't get caught up on. There's something that's going to reach you regardless, which is something that you're going to have, or should I say, that you're going to need to buy and sell. But if you are of the hopeful elect, the Lord will provide for you. Continue to read. Verse 21, for to me to live is Yahushua, and to die is gain. But if I live in the flesh, meaning if I'm going to depend on Trump or, so-called white man, Esau Edom, to live and to eat, this is, okay, but if I live in the flesh, this is the fruit of my labor. Yet, what I shall choose, I will not. For I am in a strait betwixt two, having a desire to depart and to be with Yahushua, which is far better. Nevertheless, to abide in the flesh is more needful for you. For the ones who say Christ, 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 you're going to be tested. All right? Because most of you believe in this system. You do not understand what you have been making these videos of, and scoffing against the men who are sacrificing themselves in the highways and byways to bring you 100% truth. You do not understand what you're in, what you have gotten in yourself into. You might as well not known nothing. According to my earnest expectation and my hope, that is nothing I shall be ashamed, but that with all boldness, as always, so now also Yahushua shall be magnified in my body, whether it be by life or by death. And you read this and you still don't understand what you've gotten yourself into, or you got in, or you walking in to. All right, because doesn't it say? Oh, let me get it. And this is happening as we speak. There's a lot of people already experiencing these things. All right, just because you don't see it here in New York, you know, either in the 5 boroughs, right, or close by, nearby states. This is happening to our brothers and sisters. Revelations 2 verse 10. Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. And that's mostly for the hopeful elect, of course. But Israel, Jacob's trouble is everybody's trouble. Now, I caught this really quick because I was looking for stuff. But what he says is amazing. Because if you look at it spiritually, which I know my brothers will, you can see that you have no control. You have it hit me, directly. You don't have no control of your life. You don't have free choice. All right, we've gotten into that in the past. Also, you have no freedom of choice. All right, there's no such thing as freedom of choice, if I'm saying that right. Because a lot of people say, "Oh, you have a choice. You have a choice. You could choose. You could choose." No. What you have been given, and that's what you're going to do. And just listen to this guy for a minute, because I found it kind of interesting that he said that. Because I know today why this is happening. I know today why you don't feel right when you place. Well, let's just hear it. I know why now.
Now, I want you to think about your bedroom where you sleep at night. Whether if you have an apartment, you own your own house, your bedroom where you sleep, you've got 4 walls. Are you able to put your headboard of your bed against any of the 4 walls and it makes absolutely no difference to you? Can you do that? And have you done that? Because I never have. Everywhere that I've lived since I've been on my own, since being a teenager, my headboard of my bed must either be against the south wall or the west wall. So that way I'm facing, as I lay in bed, either north or east. I've never put a bed against a north wall or against an east wall, so I'm facing west or south. I can't do that.
This is Daniel 6 verse 10. Now when Daniel knew that the writing was signed, he went into his house, and his widow being open in his chamber. Salakia. I'll read that again. This is Daniel 6 verse 10. Now when Daniel knew that the writing was signed, he went into his house, and his windows being open in his chamber towards Jerusalem, he kneeled upon his knees 3 times a day and prayed and gave thanks before the Most High, as he did aforetime. With that, I want to say that the Spirit calls us continuously. That's why, this guy might look like an Edomite, but in reality, he might be a Jake, because I think that only happens to Jake. to the Israelites. You know, the Spirit always calling you towards Jerusalem. I don't think Edomites have that problem. Now, it's a matter of time before this happens here in New York or Manhattan and Bronx and the Queens. There's a place where, well, believe it or not, there's concentration camps here in New York where there were covered and they were made into parks, and they made living quarters, like maybe small buildings around this area, so it wouldn't look so menacing anymore. And I know of one, but before I mention that, let's listen to this real quick.
Expect throngs of Massachusetts residents to demonstrate against ICE if a surge happens. Now, let you go out there in these streets and try to demonstrate. All right? There's not going to be any understanding in these people. All right? It says, bottom line, while no operations has been officially confirmed, Boston is not waiting to find out. It is mobilizing now. So the mayor says they're planning for the unthinkable. All right? So what's going to happen? ICE is going to roll up into these areas, right? And do what? Start rounding people up. So check this out. It says, this is our USA Today. This is a couple months back. It says, Army base used for World War II Japanese internment will be the nation's largest ICE detention center. Stewards of Japanese American history are calling out the use of Fort Bliss to detain immigrants. So they now chose a site which now stewards of Japanese back.
Look, and I know I understand that I'm going all over the place. I'm everywhere, but gross darkness is everywhere, and there's going to be a lot of things that are happening at the same time. So bear with me. So I've typed in the place in Queens where I passed through. It was really dark. I couldn't take no pictures because it was really, I couldn't even see in front of me. I couldn't even see my hand. That's how dark it was. My battery was running low on my bike. I needed to conserve. I didn't have a flashlight at the time, and I was using my phone to record, and the pictures did not do it justice. They were too dark. And anyways, the thing is that they set it up so bad that you can't even get the pictures. You would have to go there yourself. That way you can see the actual pictures, because this is not even the place right here. This is not even the place. This is the park, yeah, but this is not the trail where it leads to that particular camp. Besides, they want to show you these pictures, you know, and this is not the pictures that you see when you go there. They are not those pictures. They're not the same pictures. You're going to see Chinese people. So you see how they don't want to tell you. See, it says Cunningham Park in Queens offers a variety of mountain bike trails suitable for all skills levels. And it is amazing, because this place that I'm talking about is up on a hill. Not everybody wants to go up there. But there is no direct historical link to World War II concentration camp. See, they don't want to tell you that, but where is it? Where is it? Because in my phone it comes out, but it doesn't want to come out here. Anyway, I'm just gonna read real quick what is on my phone real quick. Oh man, what's this? Give me a sec. Okay, this is what it says. Note on concentration camps. There isn't a major historical concentration camp in Queens. However, historic sites in the area, like those near Fort Taunton, are part of the BQGS, which I don't know what that stands for, but cultural landscape, but not concentration camps in the World War II sense. Meaning they had some sort of arrangements. I don't know, like they took you there while they were sending you somewhere else, I suppose. In Salakia, I couldn't find the coffins. There was lots of videos of lots of coffins being made, and those videos somehow disappeared. There was a lot of videos of guillotines being made, and those videos kind of disappeared. So, there's a lot of gross darkness coming to the United States of America. And like I said, Salakia, that I was going here and there. I'm just putting everything that I have in my mind this morning all into one video as best I could. This is Isaiah 60, verse 2. For behold, the darkness shall cover the earth, and gross darkness the people. But the Lord shall arise upon thee, and his glory shall be seen upon thee. And just because you say it's not true doesn't make it so. With that said, I hope this was edifying. Shalom.